Hi everyone, it's Loughlin here. Today we're going to cook a broccolini dish. So we're going to do some broccolini with some almonds, some pomegranate and parmesan. So taking the humble green, which is very much tasty on its own, and turning it into, I guess, a salad in many ways. This is something that we can probably put together in 10 minutes if you're doing it really quick, maybe 15 if you're taking your time. So the first thing that we need to do is grab our broccolini. I've got about 2 bunches here, but this is a recipe that you can adjust to scale to suit you however you like. Roughly chop it into whatever size you want. I just did that into quarters, essentially. That'll depend how large your bunch is, the stalks and all that sort of stuff. So give that a good old chop, scatter that into a perforated steam container, and now we will place this into the steam oven at 100 degrees for 2 minutes. Now 2 minutes is all this takes to cook, and that is irrespective of the quantity that you're cooking as well. So if you're doing 6 bunches or 1 bunch, exactly the same. A fantastic side dish for any occasion where you might be entertaining and you need to, bulk up the recipe. Okay, so the broccolini is into steam. I have a bowl of iced water on standby, so as soon as that broccolini is cooked, it's coming straight out of the steam oven into this iced water, and that will stop it from cooking straight away. I'll leave it in there for a few seconds, and I've also got a colander to the side here, and we'll drain that off. Whilst that is steaming though, we can get onto a few things. So here I have some lemon juice and some olive oil. So they can both go into a mixing bowl or a salad bowl. If you wanted to, you could do this in the bowl you're actually serving it from. I'll transfer it to another dish. And we'll just give this a quick whisk. Now this won't emulsify perfect at this stage, but what we will do is we'll get about half a bunch of this parsley. I'm just going to rip it off. Move that to the side. And I'm just going to roughly chop this. I'll get it as fine as I can without being too pedantic, I guess. So the best way to do that is scrunch this up into a really, really tight, ball, like I have here, and run your knife through it, still holding that down nice and firm, and that'll keep it into a really tight position, giving you quite a fine chop for the first pass. Scrunch it up again, then bring your knife back through the other way. And you might want to pass through this a few times. And there we go, that will do perfectly fine. So pick all of that up into your bowl with your lemon juice and your olive oil. Bring that back to you, give that a good whisk. I've also got to add some pomegranate. Now there's a few different techniques to de-seeding a pomegranate, and I do it probably the quickest way, I would say, but it's not necessarily the cleanest way. So if you have a better technique, go for it. Grab yourself a bowl, sit it on your chopping board, and grab your pomegranate, cut it in half like I just did there, place that in your hand, and you're just gently holding onto it so the seeds can fall out, and then grab a wooden spoon or a spatula and just whack this. Try and hold it as deep in the bowl as you can because juice will splatter, and work your way around until you've gotten all of those pomegranate seeds out. So all my pomegranate seeds are in here. You get a couple of little bits of the membrane, so just pick that out. But now that's basically good to go, and we've got quite a bit of juice in there as well. We will hold on to that and add this to the dressing just for some extra flavour. Okay, so we've got our dressing halfway there. Our pomegranate seeds I'm going to add, just pour the juice in. We will add the pomegranate seeds shortly, but I'll just hold off for a little bit until that broccolini is closer. I've got some almonds here. Now these almonds, I've got about 1/4 cup. These have been roasted and then I've roughly chopped them. So that just gives you extra flavour. If you can always try and roast any nut that you're cooking with prior to actually eating it, the flavour you get is 10 times better than if we just use them raw. What we can do whilst we're waiting is I've got some parmesan here. So just using a vegetable peeler, we will get some parmesan shavings, just pop them onto a plate, and when we plate this up, we can easily scatter this on top. So this is something you can do as much or as little as you want. Be pretty organic with how you want it. You can pop some through the actual greens as well. So all of this salad, these sides and stuff, assuming you have them all sort of nearby and you're not needing to run around the kitchen to weigh them up and all that sort of stuff, we can probably get this done in a similar time to what the broccolini takes to cook, which makes it a really quick side. It'll look really inviting, and you know, it's gonna be really tasty as well. So all of this is ready to go. Once my broccolini is cooked, we'll pop it into the ice water, get it cooled down, we can mix it all together. All right, so the broccolini is cooked, looking really, really nice and vibrant. Now we'll just pop this into our ice water, just to stop the cooking process so this stays really, really nice and green. So mix this in. Make sure you have a generous amount of ice in your water as well, because obviously when we place in this hot green into the water temperature will increase quite quickly. So using your hands, just have a feel with this and make sure it gets the temperature. Don't rush this. It's probably going to need to sit in this water for a minute or two to really bring the temperature down. Then we can place this into our colander, strain it all off, and we can now mix the rest of the salad. So I've just strained off this broccolini. It's looking really, really nice. It's got a great bite to it, so it's still, I guess, al dente, if you can call it that. We're going to throw this into our bowl with our dressing. To that, I'm going to add my pomegranate seeds, the almonds, and I'll pop in a tiny bit of the parmesan. So all I'm going to do now is probably get in there with your hands is probably the easiest way, or you could try and stir it with tongs, but basically give this a really, really good mix. You want all these flavors to get in and around. The broccolini is a great vegetable because it's got so many nooks and crannies, and that holds onto these amazing flavors. You can see how beautiful and vibrant this is. Some amazing colors. And now we can grab our serving dish, or you can even serve it in this bowl if you have a nicer looking bowl than this. So here we go. We'll plate this up onto our plate and try and get as much of the yummy bits of broccolini and almonds and stuff scattered over the top. Some of our parmesan. And that looks pretty tasty to me. So there we go, broccolini with almonds, pomegranates and parmesan. Thank you for watching. We would love it if you gave this recipe a crack. So if you do cook this at home, please post it on Facebook or Instagram if you'd like to.